Welcome to e-learning course on Applied Thermodynamics, module Vapor Power Cycles, session Carnot Vapor Cycle. Myself Ramesh BR, Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Jain Institute of Technology, Davangere. Before proceeding further, we will have an introduction to vapor power cycles. In thermodynamics, a cycle which continuously converts heat into work is called power cycle. The use of working fluid is an essential medium to convert heat into work, and in such a case, when vapor or steam is used as the working fluid, the cycle is called as vapor power cycle. Examples for vapor power cycles are Carnot cycle, Rankine cycle, etc. Vapor power cycle is a power cycle used for steam power plants which make use of steam generated from water to convert the heat of the steam into mechanical work and in turn to generate electricity. The steam is alternately vaporized and condensed to initial conditions, thereby making the same working fluid to circulate again and again. In the present session, we deal with fundamentals of Carnot vapor power cycle. We make use of a PV and TS diagram to describe Carnot vapor power cycle. Carnot cycle is the most efficient cycle operating between two specified temperature limits. When steam is used as the working substance, Carnot cycle is called as vapor power cycle. The cycle consists of 4 processes as shown in figure. We move further by individual processes. The first process is 1 to 2, which is a reversible adiabatic expansion process. Here reversible adiabatic can also be called as isentropic. The process also named as isentropic expansion process, which is going to be taking place from state point 1 to state point 2 on your PV diagram as well as on the TS diagram. At the beginning of the process, the dry saturated vapor leaving the boiler enters the turbine at condition 1, where it is expanded isentropically, that is adiabatically, to low pressure and temperature at condition 2. The work done by the isentropic expansion process of steam is known as shaft work or turbine work, which is a positive work and is equals to enthalpy drop of the steam. That is, work done of the turbine is equal to H1 minus H2, where H1 and H2 are the enthalpies of steam at condition 1 and condition 2 respectively. The second process is 2 to 3, which is isothermal compression process carried out from point 2 to point 3. Heat is removed during this process by spending up steam and hence it condenses isothermally at constant pressure. Heat rejected isothermally at T2 is given by QR represents heat rejected and it is given by H2 minus S3. Here H2 means it is a enthalpy at condition 2 and S3 is the enthalpy at condition 3. The third process is 3 to 4, which is named as reversible adiabatic compression process. It is also named as isentropic compression process. Here the wet steam at condition 3 is compressed adiabatically, that is without any heat transfer to the saturated liquid state, that is at condition 4, and is then passed into the boiler. The work done on steam during this process is known as compressor work and the work will be negative and is given by H4 minus H3, where H4 and H3 are the enthalpies of steam at condition 3 and condition 4 respectively. The last process is reversible isothermal expansion process carried out from point 4 to 1. During this process, heat is added to the saturated water in the boiler at constant pressure. At constant pressure, you can observe P1 will be equal to P4 and temperature. So, both pressure and temperature are constant. The evaporation of water takes place at this temperature and pressure until the water gets converted into dry steam. Hence, heat supplied during this process inside a boiler is given by H1 minus H4, where H1 and H4 are the enthalpies of saturated liquid and dry saturated vapor respectively. Further, we see some of the performance parameters related to Carnot vapor cycle. In that, first one is thermal efficiency. We know that thermal efficiency is defined as net work done over heat added. Net work done can be written as heat added minus heat rejected or heat supplied minus heat rejected. So, this after simplification we are going to get 1 minus heat rejected over heat supplied. From the previous slide, so we have the expression for heat rejected and heat supplied. Substitute here. So, we will get after substitution thermal efficiency as 1 minus H2 minus H3 over H1 minus H4. Next, the expression what here obtained is based on enthalpy. So, now we can also obtain expression in terms of temperature. For that, we once again make use of the definition of thermal efficiency, that is net work done by heat added. So, net work done can be written as heat supplied minus heat rejected by heat supplied. So, after simplification, you will get 1 minus heat rejected over heat supplied, and which is equal to 1 minus T2 into delta S over T1 into delta S. Here delta S is going to represent change in entropy during the heat rejection process as well as heat supplied process. You can check with your TS diagram. Now, this expression where delta S remains same get cancelled and the expression becomes 1 minus T2 over T1, and from your TS diagram we can replace T2 with TL or T minimum and T1 with TH or T max, and these are the two specified temperature limits in which Carnot vapor cycle is going to work, and this is the expression for thermal efficiency in terms of temperatures. And the next expression is work ratio. Work ratio is defined as net work done over positive work. Net work done can be written as heat supplied minus heat rejected over, and the positive work will be turbine work, and compressor work is a negative work. So, we will take only turbine work in this case because it is positive, and substituting for the equations or expressions we will get H1 minus H4 minus H2 minus H3 over H1 minus H2. Now, we are going to rearrange the term H4 and H2 as done here. So, you will get H1 minus H2 minus H4 minus H3 over H1 minus H2. Now, we are going to separate the two terms of the numerator. So, and we will get work ratio as 1 minus H4 minus H3 over H1 minus H2, and this is the expression which is used to determine the work ratio of a Carnot vapor power cycle. So, now we are going to compare a Carnot vapor cycle with a reference cycle, or we are going to discuss some of the drawbacks related to Carnot vapor cycle which has or which can be used as a reference cycle. We make use of a TS diagram here. Theoretically, a Carnot cycle gives the highest possible efficiency. However, the cycle is extremely difficult to operate practically when working fluid is vapor. The reasons are: it is difficult to supply superheated steam at constant temperature. This is the first reason why you cannot use a Carnot cycle if a working fluid is a vapor. The second reason is the quality of steam decreases during the isentropic expansion, that is, the quality of the steam decreases when it is expanding through a turbine. This is not acceptable as the turbines cannot handle steam quality less than 90%, which is at condition 2. Steam is partially condensed in the condenser. The condensation process stops at point 3 as shown in TS diagram. You can see here condensation takes place from point 2 to point 3, however, which is practically impossible. So, we cannot stop condensation process at point 3. The condensation process stops at when all the vapors are condensed to liquid. And the next reason is the working substance at condition 3 is in both liquid and vapor state. So, it is difficult to compress two phase mixture isentropically using a compressor. So, we do not have a compressor which compresses a substance which is going to have two phases. It is practically impossible. Isentropic compression of vapor requires more work due to its high specific volume, thereby reducing the work ratio. So, isentropic compression of a vapor working substance requires more work due to higher specific volume. Therefore, there will be a reduction in work ratio. That means, there will be a reduction in the output of the system. So, these are the few drawbacks of Carnot vapor power cycle as a reference cycle. And this is the end of the session on Carnot vapor power cycle. Thank you very much. Please do subscribe to my channel BR Mech Academy.